First, insert the timer and outlet to charge timer's internal battery for at least 1 hour before use. This way, the LCD will be the brightest. You'll see a green LED that is on the timer when you have it plugged up to the wall. This is just basically telling you that the timer is in fact receiving power. You may see a red LED that's on. This is telling you that the timer is actually on. Don't worry about the red one at this time. Go ahead and push the recessed reset button. I would use like a paper clip. You need to be able to push it far enough that it resets. When you do reset the timer, it will go to the factory defaults. Now on the default, it will be a 24-hour clock. If you want to use a 12-hour clock, just push the minute and second buttons together, and you will see an AM at the top left corner. I would suggest using a 24-hour clock since it's less likely that you will program it incorrectly with AM versus PM. To set the current day and hour, minute, and second, hold the clock button and press the week button to set day of week. Push the hour button until you have the correct hour. Push the minute button for minutes and second for seconds. Release the clock button and the time should be set. To program same feed cycles at the same daily times all 7 days of the week. Push the program button once and you should see a 1 at the bottom left with an on. This will be the first feed cycle. Press the week button to select the days you want to feed. We're going to select all the days to feed every day. Now just push the hour button and select your hour that you want the cycle to come on. And then of course you got the minutes and the seconds. If you let the timer sit there and you don't press anything, it's going to go back to the current time. Just press the program button again. You'll see the 1 on, which is your first cycle that you've programmed. Go ahead and hit program once more and you'll see off, 1 off, which is cycle 1 and the off time. Make sure that the off time has the same days of the week as the on time. Set the off time just like you did the on time. Set it 2 minutes later. We're wanting to program the off time 2 minutes later because with this particular setup we're using the timer as a trigger. We're just triggering the feeder. It has nothing to do with the length of the actual feed cycle. You do that with the internal calibration of the feeder. If for some reason you want to go back to the clock and you're in the programming mode for the on or off times, just simply press the clock button. Now if you want to feed a second feed cycle, just hit program and keep hitting program until you see a 2 on. This is your second on time, which is your second feed cycle. And you'll program it just like you did before for the first cycle, and then don't forget to have an off time. With this timer you can have 8 cycles per day, so you can program up to 8 different cycles. The feeder must have an off time of at least 2 minutes to reset the feeder for the next cycle. That means you have to have at least 2 minutes or greater off time between each cycle. If you're trying to delete a program and maybe you don't want to use it and you just put zeros in there, you're going to screw up the trigger and the timer's not going to trigger the feeder. It has to have dash lines, and to do that just go to the program you want to delete and hit the index button. This way you'll see all the dash lines, and you should see dash lines on any program that you're not using. Make sure that the dash lines are on the on and the off sections of the program. When you're done programming everything, make sure that the timer at the bottom has auto off. To do that, press the index finger button until you see auto off. It should not say on and auto, it should just say auto off. If you want to manually turn the timer on, hit the index button until you see on. To change to random for on and off cycles, push week and hour buttons at the same time. Of course, don't do this unless it's your intent to feed at random times of the day. You can also change to daylight savings time by pressing the hour and minute buttons at the same time. Since this particular timer can be controlled by seconds, you could purely control your food portions with it and not even use the feeder's control system. You wouldn't even need to calibrate the feeder itself. The advantage of operating the feeder like this is that you could have different portions per day. So 1 hour you may feed a lot, and the next hour you may just want to feed a little bit. So what you'll do is turn the calibration screw on the feeder clockwise 10 to 15 times. That's just to max it out to the maximum time that it can run. And that should be about 2 minutes, which you probably won't feed that long. And then you'll program the timer, but you'll have the off time a few seconds after the on time. For example, you want the feeder to come on at 5 o'clock, but then you'll have the off time a few seconds. So one time you feed, you might want to feed 5 seconds worth of food. The next time you might want to feed 15 seconds. There's a few people that have asked us, why don't we have a built-in timer? We have this timer here with seconds. Why can't we just use it? Why do we have to go through programming this timer and then on top of that, setting the calibration of the feeder itself? There's various reasons. The feeder is very versatile. Many people use it with many different applications and systems that don't operate with seconds. They operate by minutes. There's hundreds of different lamp timers out there, and 99% of them do minutes. They don't go down to the seconds. If a timer goes bad, you can simply replace it with a $4 or $5 timer. The main key is to remember that you only need to trigger the feeder with a device that has an on and an off. The feeder itself will go by its own calibrated feed cycle. Thank you for watching this video.